Alright, I just want to be clear, when you're looking at that impossible light activity inside of that computer lab, this is surveillance with Michael Dorsey. And I just want to be clear, this is the same grounds of federal prison that Mike Lorenz is definitely going to be facing. This is the prosecution of the Fontana Police Department, and the criminal activity of the Ontario Police, even when I don't come to Fontana, is the prosecution of the Fontana Police Department. All right, the face in the images, while the people of the state, the vagina monitors, psychopaths pacing on the roads and the highways, psychopaths pacing in the bathroom. They're demons that are monitoring, and that's what you need to know about the lack of privacy while the police are keeping your genitalia under surveillance, and they do so by stalking conspicuously, like PKB TRFY, doing so in the engineered light under a fake sun that's still planted over the same building. And this is also representing San Bernardino County, the county that is a sex offender, the county that's engaged in state surveillance, the county that's committed what is criminal summoning with the intent to obstruct justice. Stephanie Ortiz is going to prison while her co-defendant literally is stalking me, and then all you're going to do is in federal court is replay the video of her engaging in criminal summoning, admittedly so, and doing so during the 1 p.m. hour, and this fake sun that's over me. This is 5:50 p.m. She's going to prison. That's the bottom line. She's also going to prison while the Ontario Police and Ovid Family Community Library practice the same pattern of conduct. And these are the psychopaths that cannot control themselves. It's very highly imprudent to engage in this conduct with regard to that which is in alignment with the allegations of an American citizen that was originally supposed to be falsely depicted as being mentally ill. This is the pattern of conduct not just amongst the people of the state, but city to city, including state to state. Stephanie Ortiz is just one example who's going to prison. Sean Thrasher, the demons of the Ovid Family Community Library, they're going to prison. Tracy Banks, Eric Spencer, going to federal prison. The people of the state that lined up to participate in this ritual right here, they're under the fake sun, which is here at 10 o'clock in the morning, and this is the grounds of federal prison. License plate, EN91X68, which is a paper plate that they likely printed up before they engage in what is aligning with the Fontana Police, who plan to engage in stalking me, which is an unlawful threat that will put terrorists like Michael Dorsey where he belongs, in a cage, where he can't monitor anybody else's vagina without their consent, okay? This is P.O.C. That was a black helicopter flying over the Miller Amphitheater. I'm here documenting Amazon Prime flying over the top of my head at this same venue at 9:35 in the morning. This is the Fontana Police Department that are being federally prosecuted. And I just want to be clear, LAPD, Ontario PD, Rialto PD came and participated in the pattern of conduct. They're engaging in what is an unlawful threat. Terrorists are not going to remain as police departments. I don't think Michael Dorsey understands that. I don't think he gets it, but McMillan's going to prison. I know that. He's going to prison, and everybody else in that department that I'm documenting stalking me, including in helicopters, they're going to produce their identities. Nothing is staying a secret. You are not engaging in anything that's protected. You're going to produce the information of who you are because you're going to prison. This is POC. It is currently, while they're just stalking in plain sight, this is what they're doing while they're pacing. That's pacing conduct in the engineered environment. They're mentally ill and they're violent sex offenders. And they're hostile while they're being exposed. This is discerning demons. Demons that are engaged in criminal activity against you. You need to understand that which is hoisting up the American flag despises this country and American citizens, and they have sold out American citizens while they're attacking them. That's what Michael Dorsey's engaged in. And he is a terrorist just like Mike Lorenz. He's a sex offender just like the rest of them. Walking under the fake sun, stalking. It's a population of dead people. These are demons. These are all demons. And this is, again, the impossibility that the sun would be here while it's here. But I capture that impossibility so that the world understands. And you're also going to witness Satan being humiliated in a courtroom, a tribunal, because this is very much the courtroom. This is the ongoing court hearing, and Fontana Police are admitting to engaging in terrorism. They're admittedly sex offenders, and they are providing evidence against Aquanetta Warren, who's not staying in office. The people of the state are presenting evidence against Aquanetta Warren, who's not staying in office. The city of Fontana is presenting evidence against the city of Ontario regarding Paul Leon, who is not staying in office. This is POC. This is how gang stalkers, who are imbeciles, who are never equipped to engage in what is answering for what is their pattern of conduct, they don't even refer to it as such. Well, you're going to compare the video of Fontana Police stalking me during the 1 p.m. hour and that which is occurring at the same venue at 5 p.m. That's the entity that's going to be removed from existence. They're going to be prosecuted. All right, this is POC. This is exactly what the Ontario Police Department practice, and it's satanic, and it is that which precedes murder. Okay? This is the entity that engages in this with regard to criminal defamation and with regard to what is falsely depicting the character, and never will you be engaging in stalking someone like this under the fake sun. This is POC. And this is what they're doing at 1 o'clock, remember? Flying in circles over the library, that spectacular show of corruption by the Fontana Police. And I want them to make sure they keep that same energy in federal court when they're told that they will not exist as a police department when they're being deported. Any immigrants with this agency is being deported. The entity that's engaging in gang stalking, like Stephanie Ortiz says, they're going to prison. And you're going to be subject to mental examinations. Gang stalking police officers are going to prison and they're mentally ill. By definition, this is pacing. All right, and this is also the admission that the demons are indeed stalking in the bathroom, by the way. Like I'm putting all over X. I'm not lying. I don't have to make up anything. They're engaging in stalking in the bathroom. That's mentally ill behavior. It's also predatory and perverted. It's psychotic and sexually violent. And they're doing so with Michael Dorsey, who's a vagina monitor. This is pacing under a fake sun. These are the mentally ill that can't contain their mental illness. And all I do is come to the city and I show it for you. This is the black helicopter. The entity is going to produce the identity because the demon that's stalking in that plane. You see that plane? The white plane is above and the black helicopter is flying underneath. By the way, they're monitoring spirits, so commercial planes are not accidentally flying into helicopters like what happened in the East Coast. That was an act of terrorism. These demons are suicidal, like what the Fontana Police Department are exhibiting, because they're going to be in federal court while they're admitting to terrorism. Something that a government, Aquanetta Warren, the people of the state, Stephanie Ortiz, surely, I just want to be clear, I don't care if she moved to Timbuktu. She's going to prison. She's going to federal prison, and the government knows exactly where she's at. She's going to federal prison. The entities engaged in this conduct and its suicidal behaviors for which there is no controversy. You're going to prison. This is P.O.C. Michael Dorsey is not the first vagina monitor to expose himself when I am visiting in the city, and the entity is showing and proving that they are indeed targeting, that surveillance is underway in the United States, and that they're demon possessed. This is P.O.C. This is speaking to the entity that's engaging in criminal activity with the intent to obstruct justice. All right, I'm on this street at 8:35 in the morning. I'm on the side of the library at 9:35 in the morning. The entity is targeting me with commercial airline planes. The entity is stalking by engaging in psychopathic pacing over the library during the 1 p.m. hour, following me through the neighborhood to the bus stop, where the bus stop, Omnitrans is stalking me with the Ontario Police and the Fontana Police Department. These employees of the Omnitrans bus line are going to prison as well. This is speaking to, again, not helping anyone. Everyone that I'm documenting is engaging in exactly what it is that I am stating as I capture, and that's obviously the case because I'm literally capturing video. So there's no controversy here and there's no mystery regarding misunderstanding what I am capturing and what they're doing. The employees are going to prison. They're stalking with the police, trying to murder somebody. Typically, they get away with it because the targeted individual is dead and falsely depicted as crazy. The entity is actually the one that's mentally ill, severely mentally ill, as Michael Dorsey is demonstrating. And McMillan, that's gang stalking at Sierra and Arrow, he's going to prison. All right, the gang stalkers that are stalking me in 2022 at the 7-Eleven under the fake, they're going to prison. The demons that arrive at the Fontana Lewis Library pursuant to criminal summoning, they're going to prison. The entity that's stalking by helicopters. Okay, I'm documenting the entity that's gang stalking me through the neighborhood in Fontana. It's all on the record. They're all going to prison. I stated it before, and there is no limit to justice with regard to how many criminals that are conspiring your murder, and there's going to be a maximum, and that doesn't exist under the law. The U.S. government targeted me through millions of people, and hundreds of them in California at the very least are going to prison. This is P.O.C. And you can thank Michael Dorsey. He's a genius. Another one. I keep coming across geniuses that are providing evidence against the entity itself. They're going to prison. This is P.O.C. This is the city of Fontana. This is Aquanetta Warren that's engaging in terrorism. They are unfit mentally, they're incompetent professionally, and they're engaging in what is terrorism. That's what that is showing you. And they're demons that are doing it under the fake sun. This is P.O.C. It is currently 5:57 p.m. The entity that is terrorizing me in this manner is the one that's keeping everything that I'm documenting against it under surveillance, which is evidence of all of my allegations being absolutely true. All right, and that's already known to me. I'm letting you know what it is that you're witnessing while the entity engages in that. All right, P.O.C. It is currently 5:58 p.m. All right, this is following. The fake sun's remaining over me while the entity is pacing, and this is an enraged demon, as though they're going to drop bombs, start shooting at me, engaging what is kidnapping me because you're monitoring my evidence. You're going to prison for that threat. The entity, gang stalking police officers commit murder every day. They commit murder and then they blame it on the target individual that you were engaging in violating the law somewhere. You were threatening them and they were forced to pull their weapon. You're stalking me in helicopters, and that's an unlawful threat as well. They're going to prison for that. That's an unlawful threat, and it's an immediate threat, and it is insufficient for them to be subject to some administrative or civil hearing after the fact. That's if you live and survive it. It's terrorism, and they're going to federal prison for stalking. Police officers are not supposed to be stalking. And that's not law enforcement. And those are not police officers. And I want to be clear, Fontana police will not be receiving any 401ks. You're not getting any retirement. You're not getting a final paycheck. This is showing the irrebuttable presumption that is established that public corruption is underway. The police are stalking, and they're doing so with the people, even down to my genitalia in the bathroom, under the fake sun, over the same exact intersection. You're going to be prosecuted, therefore, as terrorists. And you don't have any due process protections. You don't have any bureaucratic tape that you're going to hide behind. There's no police association that has any standing, and there is nothing for them to argue. You have zero constitutional protection. Also, I'm going to prosecute you, and you're going to prison as terrorists in the U.S. Now wave the American flag under that, because that's a fact. That's exactly what's happening. This is P.O.C.